Here we are, bottom of the Smash Mountain. I would like to thank my patron supporters over at patreon.com/bsmpod for continued support me in what I'm doing. I would especially like to give shout outs to my senior producers. We have my mom and dad. Love y'all. We have Ventus Official and PK Smokey with the Eternal Project. So shout outs. And tonight I'm very pleased to bring to you live on Twitch all that fun stuff. This is Dr. Hunk, the creator of one of Melee's favorite, most recent videos. If you go onto YouTube and if you look up Wuss Tunes, all these links will be in the description of the podcast episode, by the way. You'll get to see the history of Chicagoland Donkey Kong, in parentheses SSBM. What an amazing title to a video already, but then the thumbnail says the story of the unsolicited DK pick. It's already just off to a rocking job of a start, and when you watch the video you'll just have to see it for yourself. We'll talk a little bit about it, but in general, Dr. Hunk, I'm very pleased to have you on. You are more than just the creator of one video, also a faithful member of the Chicagoland Melee scene, and strangely on the West Coast, which we might talk about as well. And I really appreciate you being on the podcast with me tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a meal of sorts, and I had a forbidden late coffee, and I'm feeling good.
Ooh, the caffeine flowing strong this evening. I'm not much of a caffeine drinking person myself, just the occasional soda. For coffee, sure. We have this complicated relationship where I used to drink coffee every day. I would wake up, I would make coffee for me, my mom, and my dad. I was the fourth of 6 total children, so to get my dad's attention, I would make him breakfast most mornings. So I would get the coffee ready, then I would make eggs, I would do bacon sometimes, and that was how I got to see my dad before he would go to work. And then after he came home from work, it's not like he would disappear into his computer room or anything, but just there's 6 of us, so not a lot of dad to go around, I guess. But one day I got sick with a stomach virus. I ate nothing but bread for 2 weeks, and then I just quit coffee and eggs and everything. I never got back into the habit.
Yeah.
And I never spoke to my dad ever again. No, fuck. Kidding. So that's me and coffee. It reminds me of being sick, you know?
Oh no, I totally get you. I've definitely have some foods like that. I like to not have butter for like several years, because like I had went like years like not consuming butter on bread, and then I had like one night where I was like, holy shit, like bread is so good with butter. You know, I'm like 13 or 12 or something, younger than that probably, and I just have so much butter with butter that I just like vomit so hard that night. I'm just
no.
I'm just like, no more butter for another few years.
And butter is hard to stay away from too.
Now, yeah, we're on better terms. I mean, I'm sure I was consuming all sorts of butter I wasn't aware of, but it's just the most basic, you know, where you can see it level. I was avoiding it.
Right, if you could see it, but meanwhile you would go, wow, this macaroni and cheese or this thing that was made over the stovetop, these are all really good. And everyone's just like, you know, like the person with the eyes meme. It could be any of those memes going like, it's got butter in it.
Yeah, there are just 1,000 memes happening constantly. Yeah.
I'm glad you got back into butter though, and more specifically, I'm glad you got into Melee, because ultimately Melee is what brings us together. It's a little bit behind the thesis of my podcast is when somebody enjoys Melee, I automatically find them interesting. I guess I wouldn't necessarily bring on every person who loved Melee ever, because that's tens of thousands of people. Logistics. However, the universe has provided a space for us to be able to interact with each other tonight, and I love hearing about how people get into Melee. So that's what we'll start with, the official line of questioning. Dr. Hunk, how did you first get into Melee?
Right. Yeah, I have watched previous episodes of this, so I didn't know this question was coming, and I have thought about it. That's me bragging.
So
okay.
Which ones did you watch? Sorry, you're appealing to my ego a little bit. So
I watched I think the most recent, it's not the most recent anymore, I think, but I think it was the one with Grab. Or was it Grab? No, I'm sorry, it was Far. I mixed them because they both have that like one syllable kind of sharp like tag, even though I don't even think they play the same character. But yeah, it was the one with Far. I listened to that one, and I had listened to other ones like way back, like maybe like a year ago or so. but yeah, I listened to that one. Yeah, it was like really interesting learning about just like what a cheerful like fucking nice guy. Like that was really cool.
Super
Um,
nice.
yeah. And super interesting to learn about like the Mexican scene because like I do not know about that very well, especially with Melee. But yeah, for me, so I did not have like a game console when I was at the youngest ages, because I was the oldest in my family, and my family was kind of like they kind of knew like how much I like computer games and stuff. They were just like the moment once I didn't touch my Game Boy for a few weeks, but once I had a Pokemon game, I was like we were inseparable. So my parents were kind of just like, yeah, we're gonna take as long as possible to let you have like a TV machine because we like to watch the TV. But eventually, through a wager of sorts, I got my hands on a GameCube when I was like 7 years old. With like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Madden NFL 03. Based on who I am, guess which game I played more? Sonic. But anyway, yeah. I think I was just like at a store and saw Melee there. I was maybe like 7 or 8 now. And I saw it had like Mario and like a bunch of weird characters I hadn't seen before, and like Pikachu and shit. And I was like, we had to like call my dad to get like permission because it was rated T, and uh,
Oh
kids
yes.
kids with Nintendo consoles be playing games that are rated E for everyone exclusively,
Hmm.
So I like read off the back where it had like Comic Mischief or whatever. We love Comic Mischief here.
Hmm.
All that kind of stuff. And well, I was allowed to get Melee, and I like booted it up, and like I played adventure mode as Bowser, and I started biting, Mario's face off, and I was like, yeah, this is a good game. This is like the best game I've ever played. And then just kind of like it stayed kind of, if not my favorite game, kind of in like the top tier for me, like growing
Yes.
up. And so like my fourth grade birthday party, so that was like a year or two later at that point, still playing Melee all the time. Still probably didn't have every character unlocked. Definitely did not have every character unlocked. Um, I ran like a tournament mode tournament uh for that birthday party. I don't think I
Yes.
won it.
Oh,
It was fun. I was definitely very salty and shit, but yeah. Uh, and like I grinded in quotation marks when I was like 14, waiting for Brawl to come out. Like playing event mode as Link mostly, because that's how serious people play the game.
oh, super
Um,
serious. Yeah.
yeah, and then Brawl comes out. I entered like a GameStop first night tournament for Brawl on like where they made everyone play on like Wiimote and nunchucks, and I was kind of pissed off, and I was like, I could have played so much better if I played GameCube controller. That was bullshit. But yeah, I got Brawl. Thought it was all right. Complicated feelings with that game, as many people have, I'm
Of
sure.
course, of course.
And I'm kind of in college. I brought my Wii, an HD TV, and
Mm.
it was like 2013, and Brawl and Melee, and we ended up playing a lot of Melee, and a bunch of the people I lived with, hadn't really played it very much, so I was kind of like the top dog for a while. Then they started learning all the advanced techniques.
Oh,
Documentary comes out, we get Project M on one of these SD cards, all that shit starts going down. And I'm really like I'm doing a lot of interviewing of people in the scene, so I'm understanding now more like sort of how like the sort of experiences that I was sort of surrounded by at that point were also like kind of going on like at the very least across the United States college campuses. And everyone gets really into it, and honestly I kind of get out of it. I'm like helping them run events and stuff, and helping them like get like a smash house that I can live in, but I'm not grinding the game. I am writing poems, and I'm doing creative nonfiction, and I am like doing life shit, and like honestly I have undiagnosed ADHD and do not feel like able to like play the game at the level of attention and like care that they're playing at, and to learn all the tech skill. I'm just like, I'm never gonna wave dash. That's stupid. And so I kind of just fall off until like 2017, where I'm like living off campus and working, and graduated, and I'm like entering like college Smash 4 tournaments, some like Project M, some Melee, but doing really bad in Melee. So kind of still like oh, this game's hard. I'm just gonna play this game that feels worse, but I can play better at. Like I don't need to practice Smash 4. I can just play Link and spam projectiles and full hop near fast fall, and I can still beat like half the people at the school. And so I do that for a while. But I also eventually start picking up like Melee on like Anthers, start doing more of that stuff, learning a bit more with a friend who I sort of like randomly, I would keep like playing like casually with people, and then they would get really into the game. Like they would, like my friend Ethan like plays me like once, and I'm like, we're just playing Melee because I just like wanted to play Melee. And then I'm just like telling him all this like competitive stuff that I've sort of picked up by osmosis. And he's like, oh, that's so cool. And he ends up getting involved in like his college scene. But then, yeah, like a few years later, then like he was a Peach main. So we would play like Peach Dittos over like, like Ethernet, laptop, delay based Melee. And it was fun because we were kind of on similar levels, and like he could play secondaries versus me for a while. And then eventually we'd just, be playing like Peach Dittos. So I don't know, like those Peach Dittos were kind of like my first like serious like Melee where I was actually taking it seriously and not like just like cheap. I don't know, not like feeling just kind of lazy about it and just kind of like, yeah, this is a game I play for fun, and if I have to do anything more than that, it's bad. Like just kind of just enjoying like the improvement of it. And yeah, I just sort of was not working as much as I'd like at that point, and was like kind of just had a lot of spare time on my hands, and I was just like, you know what, yeah, like might as well start to learn things. So I gave like Marth like a month or so. I gave Peach like a month. I like kind of played both of them, and by the end of it, I think my Marth was better, but I felt I would like play versus like the 20XX CPUs and shit. I don't know. And I was just like, yeah, I think I like Peach better though. I always kind of liked Peach. I had like various mains. Like Dr. Hunk was like, I entered like one like 2014 like Oak Park, Illinois tournament that I thought was going to be like a normal tournament, but it was like a random character tournament because they used to have all sorts of weird events at this. Yeah, so I was not ready for that. My tag was Dr. Hunk because I wanted to be a Doc main just because I liked his like dash attack and stuff. He's really fun at a casual level. But I looking at like the technical barriers for doing basic shit in Melee, my brain is not quite set up the way a lot of Melee players are, I think, and I just found like learning all of the Peach exclusive tech skill to be much more approachable than L canceling every aerial I do for the rest of my life. So here we are, I guess. I got more involved over time. Definitely Slippy was huge. 2020, I was like constantly on Twitch watching Melee. A lot of people probably just know my like name from like something really stupid I said in a Twitch chat at some point. And even today I was saying stupid shit in Twitch chats, like I've continued to say stupid shit in Twitch chats. And yeah, like around 2019 was when I like started actually following the scene. And then kind of once the pandemic stuff eased up, I sort of transitioned from being like an only noobs player. And that was sort of my inoculation into
Let's go, Cadence.
Yeah, because Cadence was Chicago, and Cadence is also constantly trying to like sort of lubricate the boundaries between like online Melee and Chicago. Basically, not even local scenes, just Chicago, because Cadence is Chicago. Yeah. So started sort of seeing that Chicago Melee is doing articles. I had recently, I think at this point, yeah, I like recently left a job in journalism. And so I was kind of just looking for stuff to do. Money would be nice, but I also, with Melee, I'm happy just to help. So I just started doing articles for Chicagoland Melee, and it became like a nice little relationship, and I've continued to do that. I'm working on one about Riptide right now. And yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, that's been like a lot of my growth sort of as a writer, content creator. But then, yeah, at the same time, I've been grinding Peach. My brother, I'm sorry, this is just such a big, wide question,
You can go anywhere you want to. This is your show really while you're here.
Freaking good at the game and way better than me. And I like started playing with him, sort of to teach him, because he had played Ultimate for a while. he got pretty good at Ultimate around the same time I was. We'd play online, we'd play in person some, and yeah, he just kind of eventually. I think he said he told me the other day, yeah, he watched the Smash Summit shenanigans video, and that was what got him into the game. He was like,
Oh,
saw the
let's go.
personalities, which I guess is a thing that happens, you know? He's like literally, he was like 16, 15 at this point. He watches that and he's just like, oh yeah, like this is the community I want to be a part of, not Ultimate. Like he didn't like the Ultimate personalities. He didn't really vibe with the people who were in the community themselves. So he was like, yeah, I want to be in the community that Mango's in. So and then he just had a really good. I kind of raised him on a lot of like kind of retro games. I think already he just kind of has always had like a better sense of gaming. Just I think from being in it from a younger age. Like you know he would watch me play like Star Fox 64 when he was barely verbal. You know so.
But one of the first words, do barrel roll, do barrel roll.
He would say puppy dit dares, which would mean Peppy downstairs. And I'm sorry for saying that, James. Other people don't need to know that. But yeah, he would talk about Peppy, yeah, from Star Fox. Definitely.
It's quiet, too quiet. Be careful, it's a trap.
He's incredible. It's such a great performance.
Shout out. Oh,
like,
that voice actor recently passed away, I think. So you know, big shout outs. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Also the TF2 soldier, legend.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah. So kind of like playing with him also was just a huge thing. It was something that we could do together, and just like he had that teenage brain that just could really get better at things. So that really pushed me to get better at things. For a while, like 2019, we would go to events and like both do bad, and then we would end up inevitably, because nobody cared, you know, being seated to play each other, and I would beat him. And you know, and now it's very much changed. Now, I think he's in college in an undisclosed area of the Pacific Northwest, to not dox him, but he's in college now, so he's not gonna be able to do it this season at least. But I really think like if that like just based on like his trajectory, like he is bound to end up on like a PR pretty soon. He's like his tag is big old chub, by the way. And he's incredible. His Falco is so sick, and like it pushed me to get better too as a player, but also pushed me to sort of find other ways to express myself through the game, because if I was just gonna do it as a competitor, like I'm staking too much of my self-worth on something that I know my brother is going to wipe the floor with me at, my little brother at that. So yeah, I don't know. Doing Melee media stuff always made a lot of sense if like I had the right piece for it. And this year I sort of started YouTube in earnest. I've done YouTube in various levels of engagement since like 2007.
Right.
Because I'm old. And I'm online.
Been watching since like 2006 for me, so I'm definitely been living on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, like I was uploading shit in 2007.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
Like the first, it was like I was in like YouTube poop and all of that stuff. I was part of that community, sort of on the fringes of it and stuff like that. So, you know, I knew my way around editing software a little bit, though. Honestly, I used Windows Movie Maker until like a few years ago, which is horrible. Don't do that. And I mean, if you use it, that's fine. If that's what that looks like.
I use Shotcut, which is the one slight tier above Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine for a lot of things. It's just kind of like I would have a desire with a lot of things, and this is also why I didn't learn tech skill in Melee for a long time, to just sort of try to like push the simplest things as hard as possible, because of my own belief of my own inability to learn new things. And I think that trait can be strong in places, and I think it could be cool in places, but you know, you don't need to artificially limit yourself either. And that was a case where I was definitely artificially limiting myself. So I don't know. This year I kind of came in like, I was like, freelance writing is cool, but precarious. I like doing stuff on my own pace. And I'd sort of done like the streamer thing the year before a little bit. I got up to like affiliate on Twitch, and then I was like, this is Sisyphus, this is not sustainable, especially with the things I'm interested in, unless you like have some sort of extraordinary gifts, and like, being like the best at a game, or like, being just the coolest person, having a beautiful voice, a beautiful face. There's just so many different things that have to like line up well to be like a successful Twitch streamer, it felt like. And I was just like, yeah, you know, I it's cool, but I'm gonna like try to like do like video essay and stuff like that, because I think my strengths as a writer are probably a bit better. And like, I don't know, it's also really hard making videos, but like I felt like I had sort of honed my skills in a lot of the different crafts that are required to make a video that is good. So I don't know, I sort of started out this year, like I was trying to do sort of like one a week or one every 2 weeks or so, and I made like some kind of like video SE type stuff that I'm not like super proud of, but I was also kind of under the understanding that this is experience. This is just something to help me get better at the form and better at narration, better at interviewing in some cases, etc. Better at, just sort of taking ownership of the skills I'd sort of built as a journalist, but applying them for my own selfish needs. And that went okay, but it was kind of, I don't know, YouTube can be so devastating. And I don't know, I've had SoundCloud, I've had all sorts of social media where you're putting out creative work that you work really hard on, and then it comes out and just radio silence. It's like been the typical response to my work online for most of what I can remember. And then you get these little moments where something will do kind of well that you like hold on to until eventually the dopamine stops working. But it's like it's such like a roller coaster, and it's like not good. And when your brain has like a dopamine deficiency, ADHD, it can be especially just like hard on you like mentally. So that said, now I'm medicated. There's some things where I'm like, I think I'm a bit more stable to like do this kind of thing and not really have too many expectations. I'm happy just to, if my friends have something nice to say, that's cool. This is all experience, the belief that one thing doesn't have to be that thing. And I'm sorry, I'm just rambling the fuck right now.
That's what the people want. You don't understand, Dr. Hunk. That's what the people want.
I understand. No, I understand. In all the time I was doing interviews, I was always just looking for. I did a lot of soft news and stuff. I was always looking for the person that would just ramble, because I was like, yes, give me material. Yes, thank you. Yes, give me access. So yeah, no, I totally understand.
Here's something that I found to be interesting. You said something to the effect of, Dr. Mario's super fun, casual player character, but I'd say all Melee characters are fun casually.
I agree.
Okay, so so we both agree on this take. Who doesn't love playing as Zelda and just getting a random lightning kick to sweet spot, even just one time in a 4-player free-for-all game?
I feel like I didn't even know about lightning kick when I was a casual.
Because my sister she plays anytime we get into a scenario where she plays Melee, and she won't. But if it happens to happen, she picks Zelda, she forward smashes, she up smashes, she down smashes. She understands quick moves will work in a free-for-all 4-player or doubles casually. She knows, her brain knows. She's very smart that way. And when I get her to understand that jumping and doing a lightning kick either forwards or backwards is like the best way to cap off, she'll be like the best casual player in the world.
Hell yeah.
But I'm saying that like I first got into Bowser, and I loved playing as Link, and I loved playing as Falcon and Ganondorf, all the characters that hit really hard, because I was like, oh, how cool is it that you could hit somebody with a move as slow as Bowser's forward smash? That was so cool to me.
Oh yeah, Bowser's forward smash is so cool. You're just like, that's got to be like the biggest hit in the game, and it's like, well, actually it's like the 12th biggest, but it feels really good.
It still feels satisfying, and then it sour spots, and you go, that's not fair. Why is there a sour spot to a Bowser lunging his head forward? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's not fair. which is part of why Giga Bowser should be legal, but we'll go into that later.
We can go into it right now. Let's help.
It's not,
We gotta help Justin along. Dark Gen X. Shout outs to Dark Gen X, a friend of the program, who is the best Giga Bowser in the world. That's what
had the Giga Bowser combo video. I know.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So
that's one of the things I'm researching right now. So
can we? Ooh. Well, can we unleash Dark Gen X's Giga Bowser into Slippy Ranked, for example, when Ranked comes out? I say yes, because ultimate challenge for all the noob Marth players who go, I can't get a grab. What do you mean I can't get a grab? I need my grab.
True. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how Ranked works, I guess, but in my research, and this is going to be a spoiler if I ever do make the video, I kind of found I was really coming in like Giga Bowser should be legal, and at this point I'm like, no, unfortunately not.
What did you discover?
Well, there's someone who made a really excellent video called like Making a Meta Giga Bowser, which is like higher quality than anything I'll ever make in my life, which is just like an hour of like everything Giga Bowser can do.
Well, I gotta see
like
this.
just annotations, and just like it's very plain and straightforward, and just like here is like me like hypothesizing how Giga Bowser could work in competitive play were he to become legal. And like this person is like, he should not be legal, by the way, here, because you will see in this video like his up B most notably has 24 frames of invincibility, and I believe there's like basically like 5 frames of lag in between when he can input another one. And that alone, along with like his ledge get up attack, like basically would mean if someone played the character optimally, it would be a top tier, definitely. But the thing is, there are 2 characters that probably beat him. Puff can pound into rest, and it's a true combo, like no matter what, versus Giga, because he gets thrown into like this like really long landing lag animation, and it's just a free rest. And so Puff is like 100-0 matchup or something, like really strong matchup. And then Peach can shield poke him really well with down smash.
Mm-hmm.
And then like some characters have like okay matchups, like Fox, Marth, Falco apparently, or like could be pushed. But yeah, he can't be grabbed. And he's got like invincible options. So, and my issue with it is less, I don't mind a floaty buff, I don't mind a floaty buff. I am wobbling ambivalent,
I love me some wobbling. Come on now.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't mind it. But the thing is, I think it's a character counterpick. With the way character counterpicking works in Melee right now, I think it would be extremely cheap. And I don't think it would be beneficial for the game if someone could, in a game 5 situation, after their opponent has won the last game and are locked into their character, to say, okay, I'm going Giga Bowser. And that tension would turn the whole game like competitively into this kind of will they won't they of, if somebody's going to play Giga Bowser, where people would have to like preemptively maybe like pick Puff, and their Puff would have to be good enough to play that person's main as well,
Or so 2 Giga Bowsers on the screen.
Or 2 Giga Bowsers, that's true. But again, yeah, like it's just over centralizing, as they would say in an esport. So I don't think it's actually good if he's legal. I am gonna try to get my local to run a Giga Bowser is legal bracket. Just so that way this hypothetical video, if I do make it, has something to stand on its own, because really there are already so many smart people in this community that have already done so much work, right down to the fact, there's like a hidden characters Discord, which is where I've been going for a lot of these resources. There's just people that will fucking work their ass off for free on so much stuff with this game. But yeah, I don't know how many tournaments have actually been run where he's not mandatory. You don't have to play Giga Bowser, but I would like to run one where it's just like, if someone wants to play Giga Bowser, they can, and just see what happens. And I know Joey, who is running my local right now, has a pretty good Bowser, so I think it would be interesting to see. But yeah, I don't know. That's my Giga Bowser tangent.
Okay, here's a little bit of a counter. Dark Gen X, and I forget the exact reason why he insisted that Giga Bowser beats Puff. Probably
Interesting.
Yes, he was very insistent that is not a problem matchup in his mind. and was what did he say? Oh, well, you know what? You can just go back to the BSM pod and you can look at the episode with Dark Genix and you can find out all about the why Puff doesn't matter. But even aside from that, I'll let that one go because I can't remember. But
I'm very interested. Yeah.
That actually doesn't help my argument where I say Giga Bowser would not over centralize, in my opinion, because in the same way that we're all fearful of the rectangle style controllers becoming an over centralizing theme in the controller meta for Melee, it takes years for something like that to happen, and maybe it will still happen at this point. But as of now,
I don't know if the level of execution difficulty or anything like that is that high when you just press up B and you're invincible for like half a second.
So,
and you also, the up B moves faster than Captain Falcon's sprint if you're full tilting it. And also, like, it does like continuous like multi-hit damage, so it's almost like you're just like dragging a Peach down smash around that's invincible with Captain Falcon's speed. That's my main concern. That's also that's also invincible. So, and intangible. Like, you can't like shoot projectiles at him or anything while he's doing it. I don't know. It's just it's sus.
I just want to see it happen at top level because I don't actually think that will catch on as quickly as what would you give that a timeline for where everybody's got a Giga Bowser for top 8?
I don't know. How long did it take for Steve to do his thing?
So Steve came out, it was not, I want to say it was getting close to the end of 2021, but that's not accurate because the last DLC character was Sora, and Sora was towards the end of 2021. Yeah, so I want to say it was actually more of like in the June timeline because Steve was a few characters back because they had Kazuya who got announced over like the esports awards or whatever, and that's always in the fall of each year. So I want to say like early summer last year.
No, yeah, that checks out. Yeah, so I maybe it would be like that, but I just feel like you would have like the 14-year-old Giga Bowser player or something.
Yes.
Who, like, upsets your entire pool.
Yes.
Like upsets Magi or something. You know, beat Bobby Big Balls.
Beats Fiction. Yes.
Beats Fiction. Yeah, just all Falcos randomly. Just gets the all Falco bracket. Just destroys them all with Giga Bowser.
Beats Zane in grand finals.
Beats Zane, yeah. And then finally loses to like H-Box's Giga Bowser, and like then Melee is dead forever. So that's like, I don't know. I fear that, even though like I was tweeting like back when Big House like was like, what events do you want at Big House? I'm like, legalize Giga Bowser, and they're like, that would be a fun side event. I was like, no, not a side event. No. People are like, oh, Giga Bowser only bracket. I'm like, no, I want to see how I want to see my voice swim, you know? This is all a digression, though. This is a digression.
It's a great digression, though, because how cool would it be? It's like Melee's DLC. We finally added a new character.
I mean, it's just like, like we've had so many things change and stay the same in the game. You know, the game that technically has no patches, though. You know, if you're willing to not be streaming on a major, you know, you'll be like, you know, well, we do have UCF. Well, we do have neutral start. You know, we do have a lot of things that have changed, actually.
Frozen Stadium for a lot of majors. I mean, it's not every major where Stadium is unfrozen. Some of them, it's frozen.
Yeah. And I'm saying, if you're willing to already make those changes, why not expand the roster a bit to characters that are already in the code? But the thing, and like, the hands are not a good choice. The hands have HP. They don't work in stocks. You would have to change. You'd have to play stamina mode to even make them legal. And like, you know, I liked stamina mode back in the day, but I haven't seen anyone play stamina mode in years, and I don't think anyone wants to.
Not even as a side event, too. That's the crazy part, because knockback is not that big of a deal, and you would think that some characters would do really well in stamina mode because they can follow up at low-ish knockback kind of situations, but I think HP definitely is dead in the Melee sphere. We can say doubles is almost there as well. That's a real shame. That's just a real shame, you know. Anyway, I say let's put in Giga Bowser for one of these big tournaments, and let's put in Wobbling for one of these big tournaments. Embrace the chaos, because if you say to yourself, there's not going to be
Bowser's a perfect Wobbling counter because you can't be grabbed. What have you done?
So then I was saying 2 separate tournaments, but we do Wobbling and Giga Bowser.
Yeah, I guess that'd be better science. Yeah, that would be better science.
Well, we can combine, like, third tournament, or put them both together. You have your official counter pick. None can play his favorite game again, and we'll be all set.
Yeah. Ooh.
I didn't know I was going to theory craft this evening as someone who knows very little about the true meta of Melee. I just love watching it, and
yeah, no,
that sounds awesome.
I hope some people who are good at the game watch this and get pissed off. Yeah.
We have our controversial moment where we're advocating for Wobbling again. We're advocating for Sorry, let me rephrase. I'm advocating for Giga Bowser. We are advocating for Wobbling.
I guess we are. I didn't sign up for this, but okay.
Okay, so I'm the one who's pushing for it, and you're along for the ride.
I'm ambivalent. Is my main position on.
You keep saying words that I don't understand, but I'm guessing neutral. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah. I'm not. I'll take a side when it's something that I think is important.
By the way, you have very beautiful or nice looking long hair, so you're already on your way to becoming a great streamer, by the way. You just got to work the hair.
Huh.
That was my note for when you were talking about how it sucks to be streaming on Twitch. And I was like, you got something going, though. It's the hair. It's great. That's like, that should just be you should just wake up and go, oh, my hair's amazing.
Sometimes I do, but sometimes I wake up, I'm like, oh, my hair is a symptom of my depression and all this shit. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah.
Now, we are done with the casual gamer talk with Giga Bowser and Wobbling. I wanted to also say it's cool that you've gotten to play with your little brother on and off, and not as much recently, but my brother just got into Melee more officially. He entered into his first, it was a fest. So the local IRL local that finally opened up in our area, which is such a relief because for a long time we did not have IRL, not since fall of last year. So it's been almost a full year, and we finally
kind of remote, right?
Huh?
You're like kind of in a remote region, right?
Well, for Melee, yes, certainly, but there are people who live here, so it's not like I live in a town of 200 people. There are plenty of Melee. There's a lot of potential for Melee here, especially on a college campus like Millersville University. So they opened up a fest, for Ultimate and for Melee, and they say, all right, this is the first, this is like friendlies mode, so everyone gather and come and play friendlies, and it was really fun. And I got my brother to go. He'd already been practicing a little bit prior to that, and he just went on a 2-week-long drive around the country, so he won't be able to go to the first couple of actual PR season tournaments to go 0-2 like I'm going 0-2 there right now. But it's super fun to have someone who says, let's play together, because usually we'll just play Smash Remix on Nintendo 64 console, and it's really fun because we just play more casually. Although I love winning, so I like playing well in Melee and Smash 64 Remix. It's just that in Melee we're both trying to wave dash, and we're trying to dash dance. We're trying to L cancel. We're the basic stuff. I'm on a box, he's on a GCC. He's playing Roy, I'm playing Fox, but we're still trying to take it seriously. He's in the Roy Research and Development Discord server, so I know he's taking it serious.
That's wild. Are they discovered Marth yet?
One day they will.
They get that joke all the time. I'm sorry, Roy Research and Development. Like the Zelda Research and Development. Like, have you guys tried out this new move of hers? It's called Down B. No.
See, what if we said you could only select characters, because Sheik was originally considered the best character in the game, and I'm sure somebody back in 2001 said, what if we banned all characters that are not actually on the CSS screen?
Ooh.
you can't switch to Sheik, and that person hates playing against Sheik. So they're planting the flag on that mountain, because they say, if I get Sheik banned, then I can truly take over the world with my Falcon or Marth or Fox or whatever.
Well, it's 2001. It's probably their Mario or something.
Yeah, Mario was considered a.
The tier list history stuff is super interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was
really good at first. I know, and some character kind of always been the same place, but yeah, I think I don't know, the honest content makes some interesting videos about that, and I know there's some good articles recently, like the top tier history videos. Those were a few years ago now. Those were like 2015 actually. Those were really interesting too. I think all like the meta history is cool with it, but no, I don't know. I think that'd be really hard to say that a character can't use a move they have though that turns them into another character. That seems pretty fringe.
Yes, it would. But if somebody got away with it back then, that the community would have argued about making Sheik legal again for 5 years, because it takes a while to get anything done.
That's true.
Okay, so
especially centralized.
Yes, it is true that we just a little bit of a struggle bus. I wanted to talk to you about something. Don't let me forget this. Oh yes, you know what old content piece that I saw recently that I thought was super cool was 60 frames. It follows Kenji, Squid, and Hugs86. So shout outs to whoever made that video. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting what your name is. But if you look up 60 FPS Melee, you'll see it. Really, really cool video. Just like a one-off kind of a video as far as I can tell. I think they made it for their college, like it was a college assignment thing. So the camera was super nice, because it looks like the footage looks great. I mean, even now.
Oh yeah, there was like a Melee documentary mini boom, I feel like, in the mid 2010s.
Yes, because after Sandbox proved that Melee's got storylines that are gripping, then you got Last Stock Legends, and you got this person doing the 60 FPS, and there's a couple of others that I can't remember, but Last Stock Legend videos in particular, they're so good.
Love those. Yeah, still go back to those, definitely. Definitely were super helpful getting into the scene too. Just like really cool.
And you know what my take on all this was with content? I thought I could do a Melee podcast.
Hell yeah. No, that's cool.
It's pretty good. All these Zoomers love podcasts. They really do.
Oh yeah. They're always listening to them on their iPods.
Their iTouches. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are really old compared to, like, especially the Ultimate scene, but there are a fair amount of younger Melee players getting into things. I mean, you would know this as well. I have to imagine that in Only Noobs, there's a fair amount of younger players that go to that, right?
Oh yeah, it's me and like the swarm of 22-year-olds.
Talk to me about somebody that you remember playing at Only Noobs and saying, if this person keeps playing, they'll be a really good player someday.
Oh, I mean, definitely Case, who already is a really good player, honestly. I entered that tournament, and I think maybe I entered pools, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I need to be in this. I'm pretty good. I'm too good for this tournament, honestly. And then I think maybe my round 1 pool, I kicked ass. My round 2 pool, I played Case Henson, 16-year-old blue Peach main, and it's the most brutal, devastating Peach Ditto I've played in my life. I think I'm good at the Peach Ditto, and this Peach just made me twice as fast as me, is aggressing, is cutting off my options, and it's a pretty harsh 2-0, I think. And from there on, I was kind of okay. Every time I had a chance, I would be like, Case is so fucking good, but I could always choke and shit. So he kept entering those tournaments because they kick you out when you win.
Yes.
So he just kept entering those tournaments way longer than probably he had to. I think just because he was he had some holes in his gameplay, but he had he had the Ryo beat coaching, all the Peaches were kind of building him up to be the next big thing. And I think now he is Dallas Fort Worth, or I don't remember, somewhere in Texas PR.
That's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. So that's the easiest example I can give, definitely.
It makes me think about BBats a little bit, because shout outs to a new Melee podcast out there. Zamu and Shabo
yes
started out the Melee Fox and Friends and had Polish on, and they talked about B-Bats for like a solid 20 minutes. And the way that you were describing Jace just now made me think, wait a minute, so is Jace going to be like B-Bats on steroids?
The blue peaches are the ones that like to go zoom traditionally. So yeah, like Polish, Rowbeat, B-Bats, Case, all zoomy peaches.
Would you describe yourself as more of the conservative turnip pulling peach, or how would you describe your play style?
Oh, it's so hard to say because I feel like things change a lot. Like my play style is changing a lot right now because I don't have regular practice. So like I'm just doing dumb shit all the time. But like
valid.
Like I don't know, and like I'm kind of I play pink peach because I'm like I feel like I'm kind of like, well, one, I just think it's the best skin. Not that I'm gonna argue with anyone about it, you know. I personally, I'm not a huge fan of any of her recolors that much. I think they could have done a better job, honestly, but you know,
they could have definitely done a better job with Daisy. That's like nightmare material.
I'm a Daisy defender though, because Mog, I had a Peach podcast as well, actually, where I interviewed Peach players, and I talked to Malachi, formerly known as Messenger of God, and he plays that Peach, and you know, he was like talking about how it could like border on racism the way people talk about that skin. And I'm like, you know what, you're probably right. So I am not gonna talk shit about Daisy in particular. I think just all of the Peach recolors have some problems palette wise. This is what I'll say. And so I just like Pink Peach, and I also just think, I don't know, I kind of just want to, I still feel like I'm a student with the character, and I still like, I want to take in stuff, and I don't want to cut myself off. Say, you know, well, I'm a blue peach, so I don't do green peach things, you know? Like that's you gotta,
that's
like,
a lot.
Opportunity. So you know, I know Lod like changed color to like sort of signify a change in play style as well. And like, yeah, I've just been kind of I like just doing pink because also like I feel like, you know, my own identity, my own ideas, my own game plans, all those things are going to be shifting, are going to change day to day, week to week, month to month. So being pink peach is just kind of keeping things like a blank slate so I can continue to grow however I do. I would say when I came around a month ago, I would probably say that I'm a kind of a grabby peach. And I think it's mostly just because I was like watching a lot of Eggy, because Eggy's out here, and Eggy is really, really good at like doing things that like piss people off and like don't seem very complicated, but he actually has a very good tech skill. He's very fast. He does not waste movement, and he does not like, and he like plays to win more than anything else. And like he's not like a super like studious player necessarily, like but he gets shit done. And like part of it's like just he's really good at like Peach's like platform reaction tech chase, which I don't really do all that, but I do some elements of it, I guess. Like I'm getting better at like double jump landing and like tech chasing in general. I had a video about that because I had like a revelation with Peach tech chasing where I was like, oh, you can make it work if you just do hard reads like half the time. And you know, there's just I like just like the freeform nature of the character in general. I feel like, you know, I've played a lot of Brawl. That probably is part of it, where I like having the ability to like live a while, make mistakes, you know, try things out and like sort of learn and sort of figure out my approach to a match while I'm playing it, based on the player and stuff like that, ideally, you know. Though I definitely have habits as well, you know. Sometimes I can definitely be more of a down smashy Peach, especially if I'm just anxious. Like sometimes people get mad at me for down smashing. I'm like, I'm sorry, like you're a good player and you've scared me. I'm scared. I'm pressing my scared button.
Armada did the same thing, okay? Not all the time, mind you, but
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, like I've talked to B-Bats about how like double down smash on a platform is a legitimate mix up and that it should be respected.
For real.
Yeah, because you know, yeah, like you're like, oh, surely they won't do something that dumb, and then you know sometimes that messes you up. So
important, yes. You could be the pioneer of the triple down smash on platform.
Hell yeah! No, I think I did a quadruple or a quintuple the other day. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I had to like tell the person I was playing, like, just so you know, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. This isn't frustration. This is just me just playing the game, you know. And they're like, yeah, it's all fine. Yeah, I don't know. Peach is like, Peach is cool because like I don't know. I couldn't do fast followers like ever. I think probably because I was just too spacey for spacies. You know, because like if you like don't if you space out for like a second while playing Fox or Falco, you're just dead. Same with, so,
Yeah.
like,
I know what
I
you
could
mean.
not handle that personally. I need to like have some time to turn my brain off. So like Peach down smash is great for that. You just press down, you take a micro nap. You press down the C stick, you take a micro nap, you know? So like she's not as mentally demanding in certain ways. And I think, you know, even that Shabo this Zamu podcast kind of talked about that with Polish a bit, where they were kind of like, wow, like my baseline is just so much better than my baseline Fox. And stuff like that. So I don't know. I envy what Spaceys are able to do, but I also, you know, I don't discredit uh, what I'm able to accomplish with Peach. I think I've made a lot of progress with her, and I don't know. It's hard for me to define what my style is because it does change a lot, and I know when I'm playing a lot, I feel like I'm a very zoomy Peach, and I feel like I've been getting zoomier and zoomier. And I know, you know, just going to events out here in Portland where I've been for like the last month, you know, people were like, "Oh, you're pretty technical and stuff." So I think just being around these Chicago players, Ferocity Aggie, even Phalanx, hi Phalanx, all these people are like really technical and like really good. So I did not come up in a scene where the idea of Peach was like wave dash back down smash, full turn up camp. It was a much more sort of, though I think Chicago in general is a pretty defensive play style generally. That you know that our Peaches were not like just even if they were, you know, generally still kind of gatekeepers in a certain way, they weren't just fully occupying that role. And I think, you know, you see Eggy now is like beating really freaking good players,
Yes.
and he's like fourth or fifth, you know, in Chicago. Like we're like, yeah, he's pretty good, and you know, he just goes out and he beats Moki, he beats Wally, he beats JoJo, beats Zio. You know, is probably gonna get top 32 somewhere within the top 32 of Smash and Splash this weekend.
Riptide.
Uh, Riptide, right? Ah,
It's
I
all
said the
good.
forbidden words. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I take a lot of influence from that, and like from I think just like I was trying to learn Peach, I was like following Ryo Beat, and I was like kind of trying to sort of follow in the footsteps as much as possible of the Umizoomi Peaches.
Tough
Because
to
I came
follow
in after
Ryobeat.
Armada had already quit, so I've watched Armada, but you know I've never seen Armada play live really. So for me, you know, the contemporaries that I would be studying were probably not the same ones that like the Peaches who came up before me would be studying. So at the same time, I'm not like the most technically minded player as much as just kind of when I'm in the zone, I just suddenly start doing things, you know? Where I
Yes, I
kind of
love
like,
that.
yeah, what Far was saying sort of about like shield dropping, like going to a major and then just coming back and being like, oh, now I shield drop. You know, like not necessarily sitting down and practicing always, though I do that when I'm, you know, really motivated in the grind. But just like sort of getting to the point of familiarity where you're sort of you got that like oneness with your character and all that. Which is why I like barely play secondaries. I don't know. I'm like all about that just mind body connection. And for me, like me and Peach, we got that interplay, and I get so much more out of having that connection with that character than from anything else in this game.
So I was thinking about how you were talking about your enjoying the micro naps in between interactions, and you can study your opponent a little bit more because the interactions do not happen as quickly. In Spacey's matchup, it's very fast. It's and
I
when
run out of ideas after 2 stocks. I'm like,
okay, so I am a very small little baby box fox. I'm just constantly doing jump cancel up smash all the time to the point where I've stopped playing on unranked because if I match up against a fox, they will notice how I'd like to up smash. I hate dash attacking. People CC it all the time anyway. Yeah. So I just up smash all the time and try to mix in jump cancel grab. I can't short hop nair yet or short hop anything. No. So I'm just doing jump cancel up smash and jump cancel grab. Really and they start doing jump cancel up smash back at me and I go, see, it's a good move.
Yeah, but they're like making fun of you.
Yes, they are.
I hate that shit. Yeah, that's like
but when I play
you go
against
on
people,
in a bad mood, they're gonna find out whatever you're doing to avoid thinking, and they're just gonna like
but
treat
no,
you like middle
see,
schoolers.
I'm working. See, I'm not. It's not like I'm avoiding thinking. I'm working on this stuff. I want to be really good because I still accidentally do jump up air instead of jump cancel up smash because I don't have the muscle memory down to a T yet, but I'm getting there. And I wanted to say that I think I like coming up with ideas as fast as possible because it expands my brain, and it hurts at first, but after the first game or two, I feel like I'm finally playing Melee as compared to at first I'm like, where are these buttons again? Yeah. Because like I said, I'm so new on the box. So I'm like, up is, oh yes, here on my right pinky for some godforsaken reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here's the hot take. I think when people switch to box, they should like fully just become casuals again. Like you should like have to play through adventure mode with like random characters.
I couldn't do it. I tried. I couldn't do it. I tried doing adventure mode on the box and I kept dying and I was like, screw this. I'm working on tech skill.
Yeah. I guess that is like, like people can do their wave shines before they can do their up Bs.
No, it's that was almost true of me, but I have such a hard time doing wave shines because I'm not really great at understanding the mechanics of jumping and somehow wave dashing down and doing. It's not coming to me yet. Like I said, me and jumping don't get along.
It sounds like you got to press like 9 buttons to me. So yeah, I'm not. I respect box players for being able to wrangle.
Oh no. We got to reconnect. Come on, baby. Come on, mama. No. No, don't do this to me now. Don't make this harder than it has to be. We were just talking about how my playstyle is universally well regarded because I play on the box. What? Did the lightning cause things to shut down? The lightning. No. Well, while we're at this, let's talk about a couple of things. So, as you all know, I'm going to go to another Millersville Melee weekly local thing. Why isn't it streamed live, you may ask? Because we don't have internet connection to be able to stream live. But we record the entire VOD and put it up onto YouTube on the Millersville Smash YouTube channel. And if you want me to, I will link it on my Twitter sometimes, but I did a lot of commentary for our first real bracket this past weekend, and I intend on doing the same thing this upcoming weekend, doing as much commentary as possible because I do love playing Melee, but I also am on the commentary grind because I see that as a way to make things happen, if you will. So that's what I'm currently looking forward to this upcoming weekend, is the blessed interaction of the word. Are we back online? Okay. No internet access right now. So that's what we're currently going through. We're trying to establish a for real internet connection. I bet you that my router gave out for a minute or something. And this has not happened for a while, but that's okay. We're not going to lose, I don't think. I don't think we're going to lose too much here. I might just keep this part of the... Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I am going to keep this part of the recording because that's how we do it here at Bottom of the Smash Mountain. I don't care. Let me be me. I just need to make sure that the internet is actually coming back, because if it doesn't come back, then I have to figure out what to do, how to wrap this up neatly, tie with a bow. We have normality. Connections. The thing. Connection problems? Let us know. Let's see. Network, no internet. No internet. Reconnection successful. And we're not in here yet.
Hello?
Hold on. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My internet gave out.
Understandable.
The whatever this one is on Twitch, I was doing this.
Yeah, the not like this.
But notice how incredibly relaxed I am.
Armada UGS what?
I'm just super relaxed. You know what I was saying as I was waiting to reconnect was just updating everybody, because I said I could lie to you and say that I'll edit this part out, but I'm not gonna. So I don't like editing in general. So the less the better.
You work at like a pretty fast pace with this, so I wouldn't necessarily expect it. And I remember, when I did my Peach show, we definitely had this happen with Malachi, and I just uploaded in 2 parts. So
oh, we still have the whole recording, so that's the good news. The stream will be in 2 separate files probably, but the recording, 1 file. Let's go, because I just talked until you came back. So welcome back to the podcast, Dr. Hunk. Sorry to cut you off there. I was really mean by inadvertently disconnect. No, it was because of the stupid router. It is what it is.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get it.
You were talking about how awesome my playstyle is, though. No kidding, you weren't talking about that. Yeah. You were talking about how the basic concept of getting better on a box sounds like such work that you go, not for me, for other people, but not for me.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Box Peach, and I was like, it was interesting. It was just like, oh, bye.
Did you go by again?
No, your video just went by, so I don't know. Your video's not here.
But I can hear you.
Okay, well, maybe it's working fine.
But what I'm saying is that maybe the video's gone, but I can hear you.
Now you're back. Okay.
And you can hear me.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is what happened last time, so I jumped to conclusions.
So we're going to just keep spiking then for the rest of the recording then.
All right, yeah. We're playing neutral game with your internet.
Reconnection successful.
9 games.
That's good to know. Okay. I got it.
Okay.
I'm Etherneted. That shouldn't be having this problem.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I've played a bit of Box Peach. It was good. But I was like, I was like, wow, like float aerials are really easy. And then I was like, oh wow, like there's so many basic things I have no idea how to do with this. But yeah, I like to just sort of play things by kind of just, being like a 4-year-old and just kind of like pressing things until I find like patterns I enjoy. Like I play a lot of traditional fighting games, just kind of like finding like a mash pattern, if you know what I mean. You're kind of like, I'll mash here than here, and I kind of find a balance. And if you're playing like something like Dragon Ball Fighters, you can beat your friends with that. So I'm like, I like that appeal for the box, but the idea of doing anything precise on it sounds not for me.
You know what I used to love doing when I played Brawl was run back and then forward smash. Just that would work on casuals because they'd chase you, but then they'd walk into a forward smash.
Right. Yeah. I was just talking about that with someone the other day, actually. Literally in Brawl.
Literally any character. I mean, I would do it with Bowser, with Meta Knight, with Sonic, with
Mind
Snake,
games.
Anybody.
Yeah. Mind games.
Oh yes, I was big into the mind game stuff. I saw the documentary and I was like, exactly. Except they're really technical, even back for 2006. So
true. I mean, even it's like it gets clowned on, but it's just like a blanket term, that means all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. It's legitimate.
I love playing Melee and thinking with the other person. I think
Yeah.
It's an underrated aspect of the game because you can think with somebody in almost any game you play, but it's never usually. I should refrain from saying that it's never the same as Melee, because there are a few other games that probably go deep enough, but in Melee it goes really, really deep.
There's a lot of depth,
and I'm not going to pretend to say that I was able to look at somebody and say, are you hungry when you play your sets? Like, I'm not fiction level of thinking, but
I think I could probably tell if like my brother was hungry watching him play. Definitely listening to him play, because I would hear him like stomping his feet and like yelling at the screen. But yeah, most people know I probably couldn't tell.
yeah, exactly. So I can't be the fiction level, but I can be the person who just goes, I can tell this person's starting to get anxious to close out the game, or I can tell that they're enjoying how futile my attempts at approaching are, but I'm still doing it because I know the only way to do this is to keep trying. I did a wave dash in a close-up interaction this past week, and I said to myself, I've never done a wave dash successfully right next to the other person's character because I was always too scared to try it.
Execution. Oh, implementation, I think, is something people don't talk about enough with, like, especially learning tech skill. Like, execution is one thing, but I think that was a huge wall for me as well. It's just sort of like, okay, now I know this thing, but I don't know how to do it fast enough and on demand in a way that would actually be beneficial. And yeah, that's definitely an important thing uh, to be learning.
I'm getting there, but it's going to take months and years. So I look forward to playing it as best I can, because best I can also means I'm committed to doing podcasts about Melee and doing my normal IRL life. Or I just said life twice if you think about it. If you really
life. Yeah, you're in real life, yeah.
My IRL life. So I'm saying that we should start to get in the direction of closing up as well. Let's talk about this DK Picks video.
Yeah.
What was your favorite line from the DK Picks?
I think I really I really just like Ferocity as a person. I might be starting to do some videos content like for him specifically. But like like the sort of, I just got very lucky where I was trying to work on a piece that was different, that was about like specifically about Just Joe and his mental mind palace method of practicing, where he will practice tech skill like solely in his mind, visualizing it. And that is like
that's some Sherlock Holmes level.
Yeah, and he points to like basketball players will visualize themselves doing free throws, and cycle some study that has been very, very, very cited from like 96 or something that says that you can get just as good results basically visualizing the thing as doing it. And then also you're not degrading your controller in your hands, and you're not having to put in all the effort to actually boot up the game. You can do it wherever. It's like kind of like meditation type stuff they do. So I was trying to make a video about
does
that,
it.
but yeah, but my life wasn't together, so I didn't feel comfortable making a video about how to get your life together. So instead I made a Donkey Kong video. And so like while I was talking to them about Ferocity and Joe about these things, I also asked about Donkey Kong, because this was something I'd been meaning to do as well. And so like the conversations with both of them happened kind of like back to back, because like Joe had come over to Ferocity's place to like play a session, because they generally play IRL. And so I think my favorite thing though was just talking when Ferocity told me about the Ringler set, and he said like that was a void that few people have been in. That like really like fucking hit so hard for me, and was just like such a fucking crazy thing to say about someone like losing to Donkey Kong in a major, that like it goes beyond like just being a joke to being like, no, like I fully believe you when you say that. Like like that probably was devastating for him. And so that, I don't know, like that was kind of when I would be rewatching it, because I've watched the video a billion times while I was making it.
Oh, of course.
That was one of my favorite lines, definitely. And like I want to say my favorite line also is one from someone I interviewed, because I think I did some lines in there that I liked, some that I didn't, but I can definitely tell you like with an unclouded opinion that like that's like an incredible line. And like he's got a way with words. He's a real character and an amazing Peach player. pretty good Donkey Kong.
It just, when I see a video like that, it reminds me about why I love Melee all over again. So I wasn't like this close to quitting or anything, but
Yeah.
it keeps the flame strong. You're like, my flame was pretty good, but it always needs a new log. And so the DK pick
totally.
video was my newest log to the Melee flame that I have. But it's a self-starter. I would show that to someone who's never seen a Melee video before. I'm not joking. I think that's a great introductory video.
Yeah. It seems like people who aren't involved, I'm definitely getting comments because my dopamine craving brain is definitely reading the comments.
Of course. I would be too.
Yeah, so I'm getting comments of people saying like, like I've played this game casually as a kid, but I've never paid attention to the competitive scene. This was cool and stuff like that. And I'm getting like, like I don't know why this showed up on my feed, and I don't know why this was good. I'm getting comments like that. So it definitely seems like it's something that's somewhat approachable to people outside of competitive Melee, Chicago Melee, and really the only intention I had was I hope Chicago Melee likes this. I hope they don't think this is bad or misrepresentative of their deal, because I if you're constantly just trying to like work on things solely with your mind on like what the results are going to be, what the reception will be, if it'll blow up, it's can be very fucking painful, as I've established. So yeah, I don't know. It was it was a lot of work. I'm not gonna say that there weren't some days where me and unsolicited DK pick were not on good terms while I was working on it. Um, because it did go through a lot of edits. I uploaded like a deleted scene today, like 45 seconds
It
long,
was nice. I
basically.
saw it. It was
Yeah,
nice.
there's a lot of cut content for it because I just wanted to make sure it flowed really well, and just kind of, I think my ADHD brain is kind of like, if there's anything in the video that I feel like is superfluous or like messing up the flow, I'm like, get that out of there. We don't want it. Uh and yeah, and then just also just kind of the desire to like edit in like little bits of whatever in every spare moment, partially out of like an anxiety that, if there's any like dud moments in this video, it's gonna like it's gonna mess me up. It's gonna turn people off. I'm always just picturing like this hostile, horrible person, like average unranked person
Right.
in my
Just
mind
like
when I'm making something. So yeah. Like it just, yeah, just
ready to drop the comment. The finger is hovering over the enter button, but they're waiting for something to deserve the comment. And as soon as it happens, they're like, and there we go.
Right.
This video's trash.
Right. And yeah, so I don't know. We got lucky though, and it went really well as far as I can tell. I think probably the biggest criticisms I got was just that there's more to this story. There's more Donkey Kongs, and that is what I wanted to happen, because I knew there were more Donkey Kongs, but the people who I was talking to were just like, that is all I know. So I was kind of like, okay, like I can try to Facebook message Hindog, but he's probably just wants his privacy. He's a grown ass fucking man. It's been a long time since he brought the dongs to the Arcadian even, so it's just too it's actually a broad subject, and there's some stuff where I'm just like, this is beyond the scope of the essay, as people will say. And if I want to do a follow-up at some point, I am starting to gather some material, but that is not my first priority, because my intention is also not to become the Donkey Kong person, or the one hit wonder, like I'm like, here's an old song you might remember, unsolicited DK pick, like I want to keep making good shit, and I want to keep making good shit. I'm not necessarily expecting things to always be this lucky, because at the end of the day, that's really how I feel about it. I think I did good work, but ultimately I have no idea why 60,000 people have watched it. That's fucked up. But it was like a good just sort of boost to my confidence, that I'm like ready to start working on like other projects, melee and non-melee related, and putting them out into the world, and feeling like, while a YouTube audience is going to be a large mix of people, some of whom are going to get what you're going for more than others, just having one is like really exciting to me, and I'm hoping that and just being involved in Melee for this long, honestly, too, as feeling very kind of quietly on the sidelines. The Chicago, honestly, has been like very accommodating and very kind and very welcoming, especially in recent years. I think the community's gotten way better out here. I think there's a great sense of camaraderie and a lot of desire to sort of lift up the people that are doing things. And, uh, the generational baton pass is real. We've got like two 19-year-olds running our biggest tournament now. So I don't know. It's like it's very it's very cool to sort of give back to Chicago, but also sort of uh be shown some kindness as well for like the work that absolutely did go into putting that together. And also, if people laugh at it, that's fine. I'm happy if that's the bar. If the bar is like, if people like thought it was funny, that's cool. I'm so happy about that, honestly. I don't know. Sorry, I always ramble.
It's okay, but what I'm saying is that it's a top 5 video of the year for me so far.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
that was so nice to hear. I
I
really
don't I
appreciate
don't keep a super active list for the record, but
it. Totally.
what I'll do towards the end of this year is I'll just search SSBM filter last year or Melee filter
Yeah.
last year, Smash Bros
Yeah.
Melee. I'll try all the things, try to find all the
Yeah.
videos that were put out about Melee. And
Yeah.
some people, some big organizations like Dottie Sports will put out a JMOOC video, and that's
Yeah.
cool.
It was good.
But people who put out like good videos like Darwin Dang, shout outs to Darwin with like the couple of video essays that he was doing before he took a bit step back from doing Melee content creation. It's just still doing Melee tournaments on the side, which is cool, but taking a break from Melee content creation, but when you see stuff like that, or the Austin Melee crew, or you have Turned Down for Wald, who has become the shining example of someone going from, I'm doing this as a side hustle, to I'm doing this as a side hustle and it's working well, and and growing really, really nicely. But again, the grassroots feel always trumps the less grassroots feel for me.
Yeah.
So PG
really
Stats putting out interviews and stuff, that's cool. Video essays. And Brentos is a fantastic writer for PG Stats. I love Brentos. Shout outs. But I just, when I see that it's made by somebody who is just trying to do something that more or less expresses their love for the game, that it makes me feel very warm inside, because I know how that person feels without even talking to them. I know how much they love the game, and that it makes me feel very happy.
Yeah. And it's like, ultimately, we're not really like people who are making Melee shit. Like, I think people get caught up in like the competitive mindset of like the game, but it's like, no, like, we're not competing with other Melee content creators, to use an ugly word. We're competing with like other gaming content.
Sure.
And with like nothing, like with just not watching Melee, like there's so many other things that people could be consuming that are, so like it's kind of a rising tide lifts all boats type thing. Like Cadence, who runs Only Noobs, also does YouTube. Definitely subscribe to Cadence.
Yes.
And to me, because when Cadence hits 1,000 subs, Cadence will come out of the closet for money for YouTube ad money. So definitely sub to Cadence on YouTube. Cadence plays. But yeah, like Cadence was like, like I'm getting a bunch of views on my video from your video, So like it's ultimately like this grassroots stuff is all kind of supporting the game at large and going into, helping the game at large, because we don't have this centralized machinations of power, though. I'm not going to say we've got nothing. Like, we literally have these very large organizations that are still interested in our 2001 platform fighter, and it is an absurd position that like very, very, very few scenes of our vintage, maybe like StarCraft Brood War being like the exception. I don't know, maybe Street Fighter.
We are out here is what you're saying, and I understand.
Yeah, like we're out here and we're very lucky to be where we are. But yeah, I don't know. It's I agree. Like, I'm also looking for that kind of content as well, and those kinds of people. And I enjoy a lot of the melee content out there, and a lot of it, I would look at it and be like, I could never make something at this level before, and I think a lot of it is just you need to sort of the gross, like just believe in yourself kind of thing. But it's like you got to just believe in like the method that you're going about, and not like even like they say with melee, you got to learn how to play like yourself as well. You gotta learn why you're doing the things that you do and like why they work and when they work. Like you can emulate top players all you want, but at some point, you can't just like be suppressing every urge you have.
I think I'm gonna up smash, jump cancel up smash for the rest of my life.
I mean, I think if you keep doing it, you're probably gonna get really good at it. Like, like Malachi got so good at spamming down smash that like he got like a shit ton of like top 50, even like top 40, top 30 wins. Like
poor Magi.
Well, Magi's doing really difficult shit, but oh yeah, he beat Magi. Yeah, I really want to make a video about their salty sweet, by the way.
Yeah, no, the double down, like that was, I felt so bad for Magi.
Yeah, I think that was like probably one of my favorite moments in the time I've spent following the game. It's just so funny, such a funny mix of individuals that would never, I guess, interact with each other.
It's like when you see NPCs interacting and you go, this is fun. It almost feels like that sometimes when there's like, when have Magi and Mog ever interacted with each other?
Right. I had no idea, but it's like, yeah,
it goes deep. Apparently,
it makes sense. It makes sense. Like it in a sense, but it's also, yeah, it's just so funny. It's like a Mad Libs beef. But yeah, I don't know. Just like I think you gotta just learn how to sort of embody your own sort of style as well, though, and like you don't have to always try to like transform yourself into the sort of external professional corporatized voice, because in fact there are a lot of people that aren't looking for that and like enjoy, I don't know. It's a line you got to walk. It's the same thing like, do I learn all the tech skill and do I just do tech skill, or do I also do some mind games? And I'm still trying to do some mind games. I don't know.
That's the beauty of Melee, is that there's all of this that we're talking about, but then maybe today, not in chat, because I don't think anybody said it in chat. Yes, nobody said, oh, we're connecting to chat right now. So if somebody has said it where they said, hey, I love playing Melee with HP instead of percent, that would be cool, because there are people who just do break the targets and home run contest, world record attempts. They made
this game so you could play it how you wanted. Like,
yes.
It's absurd, like how much functionality was put into Melee to be flexible, including towards competitive play, including towards silly play, and the wide spectrum of things that exist outside of that binary. Like Melee is like a very open game, and I've loved it much longer than I've been involved in it competitively. Like I love it aesthetically, I love it artistically, I love it musically. I'm all about the fucking Melee lifestyle. And I think it's got like a free spiritedness to it that I think it's unfortunate to limit it to that simple hierarchical, like I guess you're even playing into that bit because you're bottom of Smash Mountain, but I don't think it's a mountain. I just think it's a space. It's just a space.
Well, like, okay, but like look at the top, how narrow it is. There's a very there's only so many people up there, but then at the bottom there's a lot of us who just love the game in so many different ways. I mean, my analogy still works.
I think the mountain's just part of the landscape. I think the mountain's just there, but we don't need to focus on it so hard all the time. We can just we can hang out in the trees. We don't have to think about the forest all the time. I don't know. I'm just fully on my bullshit right now, but
let's talk about content that we miss.
Yes.
Okay, content that I'm missing right now is King of the Cubed. What's something that you're missing right now?
Save as Untitled.
Oh, yes.
My go.
Half the reason why the Melee Stats Discord is awesome is because of the Glad is Untitled, Sad is Untitled, and Save W. Oh, and Mad is Untitled. I mean, the Mad is Untitled is pretty cool.
That, like, literally, those videos got me into the game, basically. Like those where he'd be like, here's this tournament that's coming up.
Yes.
I know Walt does stuff like this now too, but I think Dave's Untitled just did it with so much fucking soul, where he's just like, here's what's coming up, here's the players to watch, and like he would be like, he'd go from the top down to like, and I don't actually remember the structure of the videos, but he'd just bring up these people who I'd never heard of before.
Yes.
Where like, this person's a regional threat, they could really pop off. I really, and that was like really what got me invested more so than just like the top player sort of narratives, was just kind of like that sort of free spirited kind of like, here are the upsets that could be coming kind of vibe. And yeah, and honestly, just he has just a beautiful voice. Honestly, just I don't know how he feels about his voice, but I love that. I loved like his voice and stuff. It's just such an earnest sort of energy that those videos exuded. And then like the online like Untitled tournament series, where like he would like pop up, he would like not be commentating, and at the end he'd just like pop up like in this Pokemon Stadium monitor and be like, thanks for watching, guys, and like the cheapest microphone you've ever heard. Like that was incredible. I miss him, and my understanding is that he kind of got harassed or something into like the sort of anonymity he operates in now, and I feel so bad about that.
I don't know the full story either. I just know that based on his last appearance in the Melee community, it was on the Waiting for Game podcast, and he seemed to be happy doing his own thing, doing music. Like he makes music, so
cool.
Very cool. Yes.
Yeah, no, big supporter. Total King. Not sure what else I miss, honestly, because I have not been I feel like I'm new to the game. So like I started paying attention in 2019. So a lot of I missed Last Stock Legends, I guess, but I didn't watch it when it came out. So for me, it's always been like a past tense. I don't know. I'm just kind of, I think there are some people who've done like highlight type videos who've left who did a really good job, but I don't really remember their names besides GR Smash.
Awesome Sauce used to do highlight videos, but then has started making great video essays. I mean, the industry leading standard, if you want to say industry, but like in terms of grassroots, Awesome
like
Sauce is the GOAT.
Yeah, like the HBO of Melee content, where like, it just comes down from his cave of reflection with just like an absolute banger, and then just like disappears for another few months to work on another banger. Like I very much admire that. Yeah.
I love the like the lack of day to day from Awesome Sauce, but then just how insanely connected even still to the game he is. It's awesome.
Yeah, and he'll be like citing recent sets in his video and stuff like that, and
Awesome Sauce is watching.
Yeah, right. It's like even if you can't see him, even if you don't know, like you can't feel the presence, like Awesome Sauce is still here paying attention and will come out at the most unexpected moments.
So I couldn't tell you something else off the top of my head right now other than semi-dead or completely dead Melee podcasts, but there are too many for me to name without, like, I would forget somebody, then I would feel bad afterwards. So shout outs to all the Melee podcast people, because I try to listen to all of them. So
that's real.
Yes, even if not super active, I try to listen.
Do you drive a lot?
Yeah, I work in a warehouse.
Okay, there we go. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, I like podcasts a lot when I have things to do. Well,
yes, no, you can. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit in a room and listen to a podcast. I need to do something. I don't know if I were to be diagnosed or something, what they would diagnose me with, but they would probably say to me, Jesse, I feel like your attention span's not super great. Do you often feel your mind wandering off to other things when you're doing something that's not actively interesting you? I would go, yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So no, I don't know.
I think that's pretty common in this community.
Yes. Well, Melee does attract the mind that needs to have a high amount of stimulation and dopamine. That's what you
get external feedback very quickly.
Yes. I need to know how awful I am at a game super quickly. I'm like, yes, harder. Wait, what? Yeah, I'm just super happy playing Melee or talking about it. And it was awesome to have you on, Dr. Hunk. So we were talking about where the people can find you in a couple of different ways, as well as Cadence, who absolutely deserves 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So let's go Cadence Plays.
Yeah.
Please, by all means,
there already.
final finishing thoughts, and then all of your plugs and shout outs.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Thank you, Chicago, for being the greatest city on earth. Woo! I mean, I don't know for sure. Haven't seen all the cities, but it's a pretty good one, and I really like the people who I've met, who are involved in our community, like Ferocity, like Joe, like I guess I gotta thank Kazu for the amount of help that he gave. All the people who helped with the video. I know I'm gonna forget some.
Yeah, see, I'm
And
always afraid of forgetting somebody, so I'm just
yeah.
like, you know who you are.
Yeah. Like, hey, if you got beef with me after this for not mentioning, just talk to me. I'll apologize in person. But yeah, the people who run scrims, my local, totally, they're super. It's just so nice to have a fucking local that's 15 minutes from my house. It's like incredible, and like they've been very responsive, and it's just been so nice to feel like I'm part of like a local scene and not just a goon on a Twitch chat, which I don't mind being either. So like, shout outs to the people whose Twitch chats I've haunted like a ghost, like Magi, IBDW, Ringler.
What did IBDW and Wrangler do to deserve this?
I mean, they've both gotten my money for a while, so they've got
okay.
my money.
Well,
so
then yes, by all means, the more base, the better.
Make weird free association jokes based on whatever they said 30 seconds ago. Yeah, so I don't know. Shouts to the Peaches. Shouts to Polish for being really cool, and probably being uncomfortable with anyone shouting them out because they're very humble. Shout outs to B-Bats, to Mog, I guess.
To Eggy, to Hey Hada. By the way, Hada is the person who I play against his Peach the most. Box Peach, so let's go Hada.
I think I'm familiar with Hada, yeah. Triff, oh my god, Triff's so cool.
Triff is going to the Ludwig LCQ.
Yeah. Oh, shouts to Skurzo. Oh my god, Skurzo's so cool. Skurzo went to my college, by the way. Yeah, Skurzo is in my scene, and I didn't go to tournaments. I helped start the scene that brought up Skurzo. Yeah, and now Skurzo's #1 in Chicago. So people say Knox College, no impact. People were saying that Knox College, who goes there, no impact on the larger scene. Wrong. Because we've got like one of the head TOs of like Chicago Ultimate. We've got Che, who's like one of the biggest names as far as like organizing stuff with P+. Nah, Chicago, like Knox College, we've made a strong impact despite everything. But yeah, I guess right. So my plugs, where you can find me, because I could talk about people who I'm indebted to forever, including no, I won't. Okay. My parents, my brother. Oh my god, yeah, my brother, big old chub. Check him out. If he enters a tournament, don't be surprised if he takes a game or 2 or 3 off your best player. My Twitter at Wusstunes, WUSSTUNES. It's pronounced Wuss, not Wuss. They used to say it all the time in Ed, Ed and Eddie. They'd say Wussy. It's pronounced like Bussy, okay. And then
spaced.
I just don't know why people can't pronounce it. Anyway, I get it though. Streamers gotta read fast. But yeah, then my Twitch also Wusstunes, my YouTube also Wusstunes. My Instagram, I guess if you want it, is like Microsoft_Paint_art, because I make Microsoft Paint art. Fun facts. And then I don't know. Please subscribe to my YouTube. I guess that's what's most urgent right now. I'm really getting close to 1,000 subscribers, at which point I can make some dimes and nickels, and that would be really cool if I could do that.
I too would love to do that as well, because if I get to 1,000, then I can just go up to an editor and say, look, I'll give you all the YouTube revenue. Just please edit stuff for me. I just need it so bad. You'll be underpaid at first, but then we'll pop off together. And they'll say, no, you are not going to pop off.
Oh, no. You never know. You gotta believe. And like I think you're doing good shit here, and like you've had some pretty like big names, but I like that you're also like you have this sort of democratic, like I will have anybody on, I will entertain anybody's stories that I so choose, and that's
everybody does stuff for Melee, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
it's so
that's
cool.
the approach I've always tried to take with my journalism as well. I did like, stories on like local bands and stuff like that in a small town, and like it was some of the most rewarding work. So I totally feel your vibe here, and like I think it's cool, and yeah, I hope it does pay off for you, because you are out here in the trenches doing the work, even if it doesn't feel like it.
Oh, wait a minute.
Um,
It's going to pay off now that I've had on one of the hottest up and coming Melee YouTube content creators, Dr. Hunk. If you don't take me to the promised land, I'm going to just do absolutely nothing about it.
Clickbaity thumbnail. Just.
No, you didn't hear me say I'm going to do absolutely nothing. I'm just going to keep watching your work and enjoying you as a person.
Okay.
So
Okay.
no,
Okay,
there
well,
was.
please sub to Smash Mountain.
Sure, but please sub to.
Your favorite
Let me say this correctly. Wuss Tunes. See, dang it! I kept looking up Wuss Tones on Twitter and going, "Where is this person?" And then I was like,
no.
"Oh, I'm such an idiot." It's Wuss Tunes.
This name, it's not working. This name is a liability.
I'm just like, I keep wanting to do tones instead of tunes, and I'm just broken. My mind is broken. So it's more along my thing, because I literally have done this in preparation for our interview no less than 10 times. And I would go, oh, whoops, tunes, not tones.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, because I'm selfish. One more plug. Just because there is work coming up. I'm releasing like a 15-minute mix of Melee beats next week with like video accompaniment made in camera mode in Melee in 20XX. And it should be pretty cool. I've made a lot of beats over the years, and I do make music, and yeah, these were all ones that sample songs from Melee. And I think they're kind of cool, and a lot of them are unreleased right now. So I hope people enjoy that and listen to that, because some people have been finding my music through my videos and saying nice things about it.
We can find it on.
I mean, it'll be on my YouTube. I do have a Bandcamp as well, but I've got it linked on the music. So just, I don't know, check it out on my YouTube, and then if you like it, you can go to my Bandcamp. I'm not gonna try to push it too hard. And then after that, I'm intending to make some more in-depth videos about like Giga Bowser and other fun things I won't spoil.
Giga Bowser. Include a snippet from this interview where Cypher ignores everything that makes Giga Bowser broken and go, nah, fuck it, let's run it.
No, I mean, I think that probably will. I did like a poll on like social media as well, like asking people if he should be legal. So
okay, we're gonna transition the screen to meme mode, where you can't see it unless you're looking at the screen share, but we're on meme mode right now, where I'm looking at the camera and I'm saying, Giga Bowser should totally be legal in a competitive Melee tournament. All right, and then we go back to the other screen where you are, and back to normal. Okay, are you ready to outro? We're going to play an outro video, but you don't go anywhere, because we're going to do thumbnail pose.
My God, really? Oh my God.
Say goodnight to the people.
Good night.
We'll see you next time. You get it.